There is a high chance that other life forms that are more intelligent and advanced exist in our universe, and scientists are worried about this. What if intelligence is not exclusive to the human race? Are aliens real? The answer is only one of the two obvious possibilities. It's either we are alone, or we have extraterrestrial company. For the longest time, scientists have been bothered about the possibility of the existence of extraterrestrial beings. This has been the basis of the Fermi Paradox, a term used to refer to the wide disparity between the facts that there is a high possibility of the existence of extraterrestrial beings and no found evidence whatsoever to back this claim. Scientists have highlighted many reasons to believe the Fermi Paradox deserves more than a second thought over time. One is that our Sun is just one of many billion stars of similar make in the Milky Way galaxy. Hence, the reasoning that there is a high chance some of these stars have planets like Earth within a circumstellar zone that supports life. NASA is still unable to unravel the mysteries behind UFOs and UAPs. Are scientists pushing the boundary too far already, or is the Fermi Paradox a viable line of thought that deserves our attention? Just maybe, the cosmos replicated its decision to plant intelligent species on Earth on the many other habitable planets that scientists have proposed exist in our galaxy. The Fermi Paradox is a mind-boggling one. Well, where did it all begin? Much as with many other important scientific discoveries or phenomena, the Fermi Paradox was coined from the name of the Latin American physicist Enrico Fermi. Fermi's name became popularly associated with the paradox after he raised the question as a topic of an informal lunchtime conversation with his fellow physicists, Herbert York, Emil Nopinski and Edward Teller sometime in 1950. Fermi and his colleagues talked about a cartoon feature in a magazine that showed aliens alighting from flying saucers with trash cans they had stolen from New York. The group of scientists discussed the flying saucers. While Fermi's colleagues hinged on stating that the saucers were obviously not real, Fermi believed it was a very reasonable argument. For Fermi, there were two separate phenomena. This theory accounted for, and which he argued for, namely, the disappearance of the trash cans and the reports of flying saucers. A few moments later, when the conversation had waned, Fermi startled everyone with the question, "Where is everybody?" Although Fermi is prominently remembered for this paradox, he wasn't the first to have had this thought cross his mind. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky had shared similar thoughts earlier in a manuscript never published in 1933. He stated that humans deny the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence for two reasons. The first is that if these extraterrestrial beings existed, they should have visited our planet by now. And the second is that if all these extraterrestrial civilizations existed, they would have at least given us some sign that we're not alone. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky believed in intelligence outside of Earth, so while others may not have considered his statement a paradox, it was for him. To that effect, he came up with the proposition now referred to as the zoo hypotheses. The zoo hypothesis assumes that life will always exist and evolve whenever the conditions support it. Its second assumption is that there are many habitable places where life can thrive, and hence that a large number of alien cultures do exist. The third assumption of the zoo hypothesis is that these alien civilizations are very respectful about staying independent, evolving nature, and developing. Why haven't they met us if these aliens are out there? The zoo hypothesis defends its stand with the assumptions that premature contact with these alien cultures would unintelligibly decrease the diverse paths available for the universe to take. Just maybe we have to cross a certain technological, political, and ethical threshold before being counted worthy of being contacted by our alien company. The zoo hypothesis assumes we're not alone but intentionally allowed to feel this way by extraterrestrial intelligence lurking somewhere and watching. Scientists have been burdened with finding answers to Fermi's paradox, but Is Fermi's paradox really worth the worry in the first place? A good number of reasons make Fermi's paradox worth attention, beginning from the fact that there are billions of sun-like stars in our Milky Way, and a high chance that these stars have Earth-like planets in a circumstellar habitable zone. Another mind-boggling line of thought that validates Fermi's paradox is that most of the stars in the Milky Way and their planets in turn are way older than Earth's star, the Sun. This could only mean that if the Earth is a type of many other similar habitable planets in the galaxy, then some of these planets could have developed intelligent life forms long before humans came on the scene. What's more, these long-established extraterrestrial civilizations could have developed a means for commuting between stars, something humans are just beginning to wrap their heads around. Fermi's paradox is supported by both scale and probability. Based on scale, it is estimated that there are about 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way alone, and about 70 sextillion stars in the observable universe. Even if intelligent civilizations were to occur in the minutest fraction of the planets orbiting around these stars, there would still be many intelligent civilizations. If the fractions were high enough, that would mean many intelligent civilizations in our Milky Way. This is based on the mediocrity principle, which sees the Earth as a typical planet, one of many similar planets. On the basis of probability, some other intelligent civilizations could have become technologically advanced enough to go in search of new resources in space, colonize their star system, and attempt to colonize those of surrounding star systems. And that's because it is typical of intelligent civilizations to desire to overcome scarcity and to seek out new habitats. On the other hand, even if colonization was not something desirable to alien civilizations, they should at least have explored the galaxy using probes, an activity that should leave some detectable artifacts behind as evidence of these intelligent life forms. The absence of solid evidence to prove the existence of intelligent beings other than ourselves, despite many sun-like stars billions of years older than the Sun, is particularly disturbing. If alien civilizations are out there, they should have visited us, or their probes should have gotten here by now. Are we really alone, or are we extraterrestrials to some other intelligent beings several billion light days away from us? This has left scientists wondering what the solution to the Fermi paradox could be. Or how do we explain this wide disparity between no evidence of intelligent life forms and the high likelihood that these species should just be out there somewhere? One argument is the rare Earth hypothesis, which claims that extraterrestrial intelligence is extremely rare. The proponents of this line of thought believe that the conditions required for the evolution of biological diversity are rare or even something exclusively belonging to the Earth. The hypothesis argues that a host of conditions must be in place for biological complexity to evolve. Some of these include a galactic habitable zone, a star surrounded by planets having certain required conditions, a massive guardian planet like Jupiter and a large moon, and most importantly, whatever brought about sexual reproduction, the transmitting of certain prokaryotes to eukaryotes, and the Cambrian explosion, or what is commonly referred to as the Big Bang. According to the rare Earth hypotheses, the existence of complex multicellular life like ours is highly unusual. Another argument is that extraterrestrial intelligence is rare or not even in existence. This argument doesn't negate the existence of extraterrestrial life, but claims that life can exist out there with no intelligence. So even if complex life could be common, intelligence and civilization are not. There are also attempts to solve Fermi's paradox on the basis of evolution. The major question here is, what if alien species have not made it to Earth because they are not yet technologically advanced to do so? Travelling from Earth to the nearest star will take hundreds of thousands of years with our current level of technology. So aliens may exist, but remain undetected since they are incapable of interstellar communication and transportation. Other arguments, along the line of evolution, are that it is typical for intelligent life to be self-destructive and destructive to others. And so even if civilizations more advanced than we are ever came into existence, chances are they could have wiped themselves out, and that's because they would have the technology required to do so at their disposal. But what if all these were wrong and we've not been paying close enough attention? Maybe we've not been listening closely enough or long enough, or extraterrestrial intelligent life is too far away.